Will global chat ever return to Clash of Clans? We now have a definitive answer for this, but it's a little bit more complex than what you would think. In this video, I will tell you everything we know about global chat and how it might return in some form to Clash of Clans. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm your host, Judo Sloth. Today we are discussing everything global chat. I want to let you know that at the end of the video, I will be sharing with you my favorite attack strategy for you to take down the Finer Miner event. It is the Queen Charge into Miners. Now, I did demonstrate this a couple of days ago on my Town Hall 13, but because not everybody is a Town Hall 13 player, I thought I would demonstrate it on my Town Hall 11. However, let's get into the topic of global chat. For the purpose of those players that have started the game since its removal, this was a chat system within Clash of Clans. It was incredibly popular and it looked just like this. It was next to the clan tab and it allowed players to discuss anything Clash of Clans. They could talk with fellow clashers outside of their clan. It actually led to a huge recruitment drive. Players could post up information about their clan, and because this could be seen by other clashers outside of their clan, they could use this as a recruitment tool to bring in new players. It worked incredibly well. However, in September of 2019, Supercell announced that they were sunsetting global. RIP global chat. Now, this led to outcry within the community because it was a very valuable feature, and ultimately in its final hours, many people had to say their final goodbyes. Now, what did this leave for recruitment? Supercell had an answer for this, but we now have answers about whether global chat will ever return. Let's briefly show you the recruitment system that was included. This is where, as a clan leader, you can ask what type of players you want to find to invite to your clan. And exactly the same happens for you as a player in order to get invites from a clan leader. Now, Supercell have admitted that this was not ideal when it was first released, but huge improvements have been made in order to make sure that you get matches for players that will be of a good fit to your clan. But what about global chat? Will it ever return? Well, a couple of days ago, some of you might remember I put out a video on this image. This was from a Supercell live stream. If you missed this video, I will be sure to link it in the description and also at the end of this video. But the Supercell live stream was with staff and they also discussed global chat, including why it was removed in the first place.
The things that I wanted to add about global chat, I do want to clear up some misconceptions about why we had removed it. Part of it has to do with toxicity. We can't monitor chat 24 hours a day. And given that our game is rated 13 and up, that does mean that we have certain obligations to protect players within that age range of 13 and up.
Now, Darian, the community manager for Clash of Clans, does discuss this in a lot more depth, which I'll show you in a second. But I thought it was important to chime in here to highlight that global chat was removed for the safety of players. Now, you might be asking, safety? What on earth are you talking about? Let's see what Darian had to say about it.
Whenever there are threats of violence, when we get those reports, we contact the Finnish police. And the Finnish police then contacts the police of those respective countries and do an actual investigation to determine whether or not that these are valid. But us as game developers, we simply cannot take that chance that this person is trolling, this person is joking. All it takes is one person to be genuinely serious about threatening violence. And if we didn't do anything about that, we would feel partly responsible for not being able to do more to protect people, our players, and people who may be affected outside of this.
So as you can see, it's a little bit more complex than what you would first think. If ever there is a safety risk, Supercell have to act on that. And that is ultimately why global chat was removed, because it was becoming increasingly impossible to keep up with this. I will share with you what I think of this, but Darian gave a nice summary in terms of your final answer for global chat and if it will ever return.
Removing global chat was done to protect our player base, remove toxicity, and provide a much more enjoyable game environment. Now, we understand that global chat was used for a lot of recruiting and a lot of social interaction, and we can improve it on that front. So that's something that we are looking to improve. But global chat itself, as much as many of you guys loved it, in that form, it will not be coming back.
And I'm sure that's the answer that many of you were expecting based on the introduction that we've gave up until this point. Global chat will not be returning in the form it was previously. He didn't rule out bringing in social aspects. In fact, this is where we come in. We actually can provide feedback, and Supercell are wanting to incorporate the parts that were good about global chat whilst still protecting players. I personally feel that global chat was good in Clash of Clans, but I completely understand it from a game development point of view, and they did ask for our feedback on this. Here, have a listen to what they said.
Like, totally understandable, like, feelings of loss related to the global chat, because it did have its good users as well, and I think we're definitely looking to return those use cases back into the game somehow. And it would be awesome to hear people's ideas also, like what are the specific things that you miss about global chat that you want to see back, and maybe we can take those and think about them and try to kind of get them back in a better way.
Before we get into the Queen Charge Miner attack, let's go ahead and discuss that so that we can submit this feedback to Supercell. I'll let you know what I think, but let me know down in the comments what you enjoyed about global chat and what aspects of it you would like to see back in the game. Now, I would personally love to see clan linking. Let me know if you agree with this in the comments as well, but let me explain. One of the clans that I am involved with has a number of clans within the clan family. Perhaps your clan is exactly the same. It would be really cool if the clan leaders could link the clans together so that you could chat with players in other clans within the family, but whilst you're not necessarily in the clan. So this would still protect players, because it would be the leaders that would link the clans together, and it would open up that social interaction. However, let's get into the Queen Charge Miners, and if you are new to my channel, you like my educational and entertaining Clash of Clans videos, I'd highly recommend subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos. However, let's get into the clouds, let's find a base that we can go ahead and demonstrate the Queen Charge Miners. Okay, so this looks like a relatively good base in order to attack. It does have the Eagle Artillery and the 2 Inferno Towers, which the first base that we found within the clouds did not, and that's why I didn't attack it. It has nearly 500,000 gold and elixir. That's generally my cutoff point, but let's go ahead and just demonstrate this. You always want to try and get the Eagle, and actually I think that could be a good area to send the Battle Blimp into, because the sweepers are pointing in the other direction. Now, I do have balloons inside this, so I think if I can use a rage spell in this area, I could take out the Eagle and potentially the air defense as well. So let's pop the balloons out. Let's make sure they spread here, and hopefully they take out this entire area. They get the wizard tower, they get 1 air defense, and hopefully they get the other. That is perfect, guys. Absolutely perfect. I can then start my Queen Charge down to the bottom of the base here. I can use the baby dragon. I will have to use wall breakers, and I will have to freeze the multi-target inferno. So let's go ahead and freeze, use a couple of wall breakers, and that should get us through into that area. Hopefully the queen does indeed walk inside, which she should. Beautiful. Very, very good. Let's use the king up to the top here, just to kind of create the funnel. I want my miners to move straight through the middle. Should have probably used my baby dragon elsewhere as well. Can spread wizards, and this looks pretty good, guys. Now I can use more wall breakers to try and get all of the way through, if I can, for my queen. Let's go ahead and rage here because she's taking a little bit of damage, but she's not really going to be able to bust out of the wall. Use my king's ability, and let's go ahead and use wizard. miners aren't going to get where I need them to go. Could actually put them in towards the multi-inferno at the top. That might actually be a good idea, although I don't have very good funneling. My queen's pretty safe at this point, so let's go ahead and use the miners. Let's get the Grand Warden in, and let's use a heal straight away. Look back at the queen, she is doing okay. So guys, you want to ensure you create the funnel for your miners, and that is where they will power through the base. The queen's doing pretty good down the bottom there. Don't have to use my Grand Warden's ability, and I've got good pathing for the miners. Let's try and use 2 wall breakers to try and get my queen in. I can rage her as well to try and help the wall breakers. That might help my queen. Oh, they didn't get through. Let's use a heal for the miners. Grand Warden's ability can be used in a second as well. I use my queen's ability first. Now let's use that Grand Warden's ability. 40 seconds remaining, guys. Are we going to get it? We've certainly got most of the loot. I've demonstrated the queen charge to you, and it has worked okay, but my queen is not going where I want her to go. Let's freeze the bottom area, so hopefully the queen can get through. And it's a fun attack strategy, if nothing else, guys. You want to use your queen charge to take out an area of the base, some key defenses, try and get the eagle as a main threat, and if there is any inferno towers left up, you want to try and ensure that your miners get that first. It looks like with 7 seconds remaining, it is going to come down to the wire. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's a 99%. Too much messing around, guys, but that was super fun. Now, if you do want to see the video where we discussed that new troop image I showed earlier on in the video, I'm going to link that here. It's right on top of my face. Be sure to check that one out, guys. But we'll be back again tomorrow. I hope you will join us. Until then, peace out.